Hi, it's Jane. This has been one of those days. I sure hope this isn't fuzzy. Um, I've been having a time with my camera lately, so I don't know what's going on with it. Cleaned it and everything else, but who knows? If it's fuzzy, I'll redo it and start over again. All right. I have continued to just work on WIPS. I don't really have anything finished other than the bags that I showed you last week. And that's basically it. I have been working on things at home, trying to get things moved, put away, that kind of stuff. You would think after 6 months I would have everything put away, but oh no, contraire. And I think it's because I have been so busy doing other things as well. So, you get stuck doing things. All right, here is my sugar blush. It's a good size. I am going to continue working on this a little bit longer because I want to see it a little further along. Now, I've also been continuing to work on the honeycomb blanket that you see here. And like I said, I probably got about 6 rows done, maybe, while I was at the music jam. Every other Friday, in each month, there is a music jam that a group called the Twisted Racketeers. It's just a bunch of retired people who play guitar, bass, mandolin, drums, ukuleles, whatever, kazoos, if you want to come play, get together and we do a thing where we play music and people do a sing-along. So it's a lot of fun, very interesting, and yeah, that's kind of what we do every other week. It's we had 2 missionaries from the Latter-day Saints, Susan and Mark, that have been with us for a couple of years, and they've been coming. And Susan plays ukulele, and her husband plays bass guitar. And so they played along with us, and we had a great time doing that and enjoying each other's company. And I've got to hide the remote from the cats because it's got a ribbon on it. They think it's time to play. Sorry about that, folks. So, yeah, and this was kind of a little going away for them. Susan's birthday was Friday as well. So, we kind of had a little celebration. Okay, now I've continued to work on the Tarnation. This is the next stitch that we are going to do on Tuesday. It is one of the honeycomb stitches, and I hope that you can see that well enough. I did 10 rows, and this, like the full stitch, is a 2-row repeat. This is a great stitch to use for blankets, blouses, sweaters, you name it. Well, a lot of Tarnation stitches are good for that. So, yeah, that's where we're at with that. Hang on, sorry guys. But, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Continue to work on that. There are quite a few people that are taking squares. As you know, Lottie of enjoying cancer as a lifestyle is taking granny squares that you can make, and you can send them to her. She has a crochet ministry that she does, and she gets those to different organizations around her, near her, or sent out to people even. So that is a good place to consider doing the granny squares. And I think I just watched Billy talking about doing themed granny squares. Holidays, Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, and Halloween in those colors. And that she's going to be taking 6-inch granny squares made with a an eye hook in worsted weight, preferably acrylic or cotton, no wool. So yeah, she's wanting to do that, but you can only send 6 squares. And I think she means 6 total squares. So if you choose to do each holiday, you could only send 2 for each holiday. I might be wrong about that, but I think that's how she had worded it. She doesn't want to be overwhelmed, and I don't blame her. Because we all know Lynn Ann that we overwhelmed her with the Boggy Creek blankets. So those are some good things that you can do for Operation Christmas Child. One of the things that I saw on one of their recent posts is there is a woman that makes paper dolls out of felt. I think I told you about that last week. And makes clothes. Now, she doesn't put Velcro strips on hers because the felt sticks to felt. And I forgot about that. I mean, duh. We used to do that in children's church. You know, you had the felt board and you put the felt pieces on there to teach a story. So, yeah. So that was one of the ideas. One of the other things is, folks, you crochet. You crochet hats. Crochet hats. Crochet hats in cotton, crochet hats in acrylic yarn, you name it. For those of you that sew, you can sew doll clothes for the little baby dolls that you send. Walmart, Dollar Tree, and Dollar General, I believe, have I think it's a 5-inch baby doll that sells. Dollar Tree is $1.25, and I believe Dollar General and Walmart are like either $3 or $3.50. You can sew clothes, you can crochet clothes, crochet accessories for those. Those are just a few ideas for the Operation Christmas Child. The other thing is hacky sacks. If you are making hacky sacks for wings, anyway, for the boys, you can make hacky sacks as well for the Operation Christmas Child. Now, for the filling of the hacky sacks, usually they want poly beads, but you can also use pony beads. Pony beads are a great substitute instead of the poly beads because poly beads are expensive. And of course, I generally tie it up in a pantyhose to put inside anyway so that it doesn't break apart, those kind of things. So yeah, those are some things you can make hacky sacks with acrylic yarn as well as cotton yarn. So yeah, those are a few ideas for you to make. Some of the other things that I've seen are pencil cases, felt pencil cases. And I never thought about that. Apparently you can get printed felt at Hobby Lobby and Michael's that has beautiful prints on them. Then you would take simply a plain felt, or you could even use the print all the way around, a plain felt color, and then you would sew, you would cut them certain ages, certain size, like 11 by 4 inches, and sew along the sides and bottom. Sew elastic on the sides. You're going to leave one of those, instead of 11 by 4.5, I think it's 8.5 by 4 inches. So that you have that pocket to slip the pens, pencils in. You'll put that strip of elastic over it, and then the top folds down and over it. Cheap, easy. You can even hand sew them if you really wanted to. So those are a couple of ideas for the Operation Christmas Child. One of the other things you can do is to include coloring pages. If you are a member, I don't know if Nelson Books has it, but if you are a member of Christian Books, they have free downloadable coloring pages that are Christian related, but you could also send other, coloring pages. You don't have to send a coloring book, you can just send a bunch of coloring pages. So those are a couple of ideas for that. I think that is it. Let me get a sip of water. Drinking water today. But it's not just plain water. I saw someone that had taken water. I don't always like plain water. I do take plain water to bed, and generally before I go to bed, I drink a full glass of water. But I saw someone take the Starburst, pink Starburst, which is strawberry, drop that out down into her water container, and then add a little bit of sugar-free raspberry. That is good, but I prefer the blue raspberry Starburst with the little shot of raspberry in it as well. So that's what I'm drinking right now. Which those of you who are on a weight loss journey, you know, water is good for you. If you can't stand plain water, dress it up a little bit. Don't be afraid. That's a little motivation there for you. You ready for a little water in Tarnation? I know I am. Tesla plunges into Norwegian fjord. I think that's how you pronounce it. Occupants rescued by a floating sauna. A Tesla plunged into fjord in Norwegian capital, leading to the two occupants being rescued by a floating sauna. The electric vehicle drove into the Oslo fjord at the Stranda, wherever that is, an area where ships dock, and video recorded by witnesses show the driver and a passenger climbing on top of the car to stay out of the frigid water, no doubt. The pair ended up being rescued by the crew and guests of one of the city's floating saunas. Oslo police said on social media. One of the guests came running and told me a car had landed in the water. I accelerated to full speed in the direction of the people, Nicolai Nordahl. The sauna boat's captain told VGTV, with the help of two guests, we pulled them up. They were able to warm up in the sauna. Police said the two people did not appear to be injured. The car's owner said the Tesla ended up in the water when he accidentally pushed down on the accelerator while he thought the vehicle was in park. Operator error. Wonder how much that's going to cost with the insurance. Porch pirate possum caught on camera stealing a box of cookies. And you know, this is the time of year where all those cookie dealers are coming right back out. Yep, Girl Scout cookies coming out pretty soon. Beware, you're going to be seeing them at all the grocery stores trying to hit you up in their cute little outfits. Won't you buy a box of cookies? But the possum steals his, so. Security camera at Texas home captured the moment a box of cookies delivered to the front door was stolen by an unlikely porch pirate, a possum. South Lake Department of Public Safety said a local resident identified only as Dr. M shared his security camera footage after the theft. Dr. M's son, who was celebrating his 15th birthday, had been given some Tiff's treats cookies by a family friend, and the delivery was left on the family's front step. The son later discovered the balloon left by the delivery worker, as well as a bag of icing, but the box of cookies was found empty in the family's side yard. The security camera footage revealed the thief as a possum that made off with the unattended treats. The department recommended residents follow Dr. M's example and use security cameras to go marsupial on all protecting your home from thieves. Sometimes you wonder. Now, I kind of wonder how this happens. Alaska native bears found wandering loose in Florida. They're a long way from home. Sheriff's deputy in Florida responded to a call from a member of the public about some bears in the road and arrived to find a young a pair of young Kodiak bears, a species found only in Alaska. The Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook post that the caller told dispatchers the bears he spotted at the side of Old River Road in the Baker area did not appear to be Florida's usual black bears. Turns out he was right. These cubs were technically about 3,614 miles from what would normally be home in Alaska, the post said. Kodiak bears are a subspecies of grizzly bears unique to the islands in the Kodiak archipelago. Is that how you pronounce it? In Alaska. Archipelago in Alaska. They are among the largest bears in the world, weighing up to 1,500 pounds. The friendly and healthy Kodiak bears were turned over to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, which made sure the cubs were transported to a secure location for safekeeping while they conducted a thorough investigation in how they came to be on the side of the road. The cubs were found to have escaped from an inadequate enclosure at the nearby home of a man who the sheriff's office described as a self-proclaimed bear trainer. The sheriff's officer said the owner of the bears is facing wildlife violations as a result of the FWC investigation. It was unclear whether the bears would be returned to his property. They probably shouldn't be. They should be taken back up to Alaska. Sometimes varmints get in your house and you have to flee. Family driven out of Georgia home by colony of bats. A Georgia family said they had to evacuate their home when it became infested by a colony of bats. Monica and Isaiah Grant moved from Chicago to the rental home in Savannah's Ardsley Park neighborhood less than a year ago, and they encountered their first bat January the 18th. We're like, Savannah has many bats, so it's fine. Nothing's wrong, Monica Grant told Savannah Morning News. Grant said several more bat encounters occurred in the ensuing days, and the family soon discovered the house was infested with the flying animals. No one expects this. Like I would never have seen a bat except for at the zoo, Monica told WTOC TV. And there was another one in the vent. And that's when we're like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Something is seriously wrong with this house. Grant said exterminators who viewed the home told her the situation is worse than anything they have ever seen. The couple and their 2 children, ages 2 and 8 months, are now staying with the neighbor and have received rabies shots on the recommendation of Coastal Health District. They are attempting to raise money for relocation costs. The city of Savannah issued a code ordinance violation, posted it to the property. A city spokesman said code enforcement officials are working together with the landlord to try to resolve the bat issue. Kids will do some of the craziest things. 3-year-old rescued from inside Hello Kitty claw machine. 3-year-old boy climbed into a claw machine in Queensland, Australia, and ended up needing a rescue from police. The Queensland Police Service said in a Facebook post that the boy named Ethan had climbed into the claw machine filled with Hello Kitty plush toys through the prize chute and was unable to find his way back out. A video accompanying the post shows Ethan's parents directing him to a back corner of the machine and telling him to cover his eyes so officers could shatter a glass pane. Ethan was then lifted out of the machine and returned to his family uninjured. An officer can be heard to saying, "You want a prize? Which one do you want?" The post said the toddler played his part of the game beautifully. The Facebook post gave the final score of the encounter: Ethan and the police 1, claw machine 0. Sorry about that. The battery died, so I had to change it. All right. Today's devotional comes from Promises from God's Heart. And I do read the entire section, so there's several verses. Promises from God's heart when you have doubt. But when Peter saw the strength of the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand, caught hold of him, and said to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" When they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Matthew 14:33. Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, "Be taken up and thrown into the sea," and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him. Mark 11:23. Maybe I need to get my glasses. A little bit of trouble with some of this. Eyes are tired today. If you want to know what God wants you to do, ask Him, and He will gladly tell you. For He is always ready to give a bountiful supply of wisdom to all who ask Him. He will not resent it. But when you ask Him, be sure that you really expect Him to tell you. For a doubtful mind will be as unsettled as a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the winds. And every decision you then make will be uncertain, as you turn first this way and then that. If you don't ask with faith, don't expect the Lord to give you any solid answer. James 1:5-8. Jesus answered them, "I assure you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what was done to the fig tree, but even if you tell this mountain, 'Be lifted up and thrown into the sea,' it will be done. And if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer." Matthew 21:21-22. He commanded us to preach to the people and to testify that He is the one whom God appointed as judge of the living and the dead. All the prophets testify about Him, that everyone who believes in Him receives forgiveness of sins through His name. Acts 10:42-43. And I don't know what a better gift that could be. All right, guys, that is it for today's podcast. As always, be kind to one another, love one another, be a little kinder to yourself. We all need it. All right, and I'll see you again later on this evening when I draw the winners for those two bags that I'm giving away in honor of my birthday. So everybody, I'll see you again in just a little bit. Bye.